Negotiate. Negotiate.
Negotiate, to have formal discussions with someone in order to reach an agreement with them. For example, I'm negotiating for a new contract.
Reasonable negotiation.
Propose.
Propose, to offer or suggest a possible plan or action for other people to consider. For example, he proposed dealing directly with the suppliers.
Ventriloquist act?
And propose.
I have no plan.
Draft.
Draft, to write the first version of a document such as a letter, essay, or law, which may have details added, changed, or corrected later. For example, he is drafting legislation to control internet sales to minors.
I'm sending a draft of your contract next week.
Sign.
Sign, to write your name, usually on a written or printed document, to show that you agree with its contents or have written or created it yourself. For example, he signed his name at the end of the letter.
I signed my name with a peace sign.
Constitute.
Constitute, to form or make something. For example, the president said that these policies constitute a threat to the United States.
On what constitutes a law.
Effect.
Take effect, become operative, start to apply. For example, they are hoping the economy will recover when these tax cuts have taken effect.
Open contract is now in effect.
Force.
Enforce, to make people obey a law, or to make a particular situation happen or be accepted. For example, the new law was generally admitted to be difficult to enforce.
You failed to obey an order by federal law enforcement.
Entitled.
Be entitled to be entitled to something means you have been given the right to have or do something. For example, he was not entitled to receive any compensation under his employment contract.
Entitles you to rape.
Obliged.
Be obliged to make someone legally or morally bound to an action or course of action. For example, doctors are obliged by law to keep patients alive while there is a chance of recovery.
Got an obligation to pay the rent.
Comply.
Comply, to act according to an order, set of rules, or request. For example, there are serious penalties for failure to comply with the regulations.
The South must comply with the law.
Breach.
Breach, to break a law, promise, agreement, or relationship. For example, they breached the agreement they had made with their employer.
Mr. Webster, I'm being charged with breach of promise.
Compensate.
Compensate, to pay someone money in exchange for something that has been lost or damaged or for some problem. For example, victims of the crash will be compensated for their injuries.
On compensation for damages.
Amend.
Amend equals modify, to change the words of a text, especially a law or a legal document. For example, until the Constitution is amended, the power to appoint ministers will remain with the president.
And then those amendments have been amended.
Supplement.
Supplement, to add something to make it larger or better. For example, legal controls have been supplemented by financial controls, especially over capital expenditure.
Expire.
Expire, if something that lasts for a fixed length of time expires, it comes to an end or stops being in use. For example, the contract between the two companies will expire at the end of the year.
To buy the building before this contract expires.
Renew.
Renew, to increase the life of or replace something old. For example, the council have refused to renew the company's operating license.
All the contracts are automatically renewed and...
Effective.
Effective, if a law or rule becomes effective, it starts to be used. For example, the new laws will become effective next month.
How will the Umbrella Academy ever become an effective crime deterrent?